Hello everyone. Tonight we're working on Module 1, Lesson 14. We'll be dividing decimals again, but this time we're going to have remainders instead of easily compatible numbers. This doesn't mean that we'll have a remainder in our answer, but we'll have a remainder in certain places that we have to carry over to the next place. We're going to use place value understanding, and then we'll relate that to the written method. Okay, I'm going to start off by putting 6 and 72 hundredths into my place value chart so I can divide it by 3. So I'm going to put 6 in the ones place, and I'm going to go ahead and put my place value discs in groups of 3 so it's easy to circle them later. I have 7 in the tenths place, and then I have 2 in the hundredths place. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start in the largest place, and I'm going to circle my groups of 3, and I see that I have 2 groups of 3, and there are no remainders there. When I circle my 2 groups of 3, there's nothing left over. Then I'm going to move over to the tenths place, and I will circle my groups of 3. And this time I have 2 groups of 3, but I've got 1 left over. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the 2, and this 1 that's left over, I'm going to move it over to the hundredths place, and we all know that 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. So I'm going to go ahead and change that into 10 hundredths. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I should have a total of 12 hundredths now, and I'm going to circle the groups of 3 since I'm dividing by 3, and of course 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. So I'll have 4 groups in the hundredths place, and my answer will be 2 and 24 hundredths. Now I'm going to show you how this relates to the standard algorithm. So I'm starting off with my dividend, 6 and 72 hundredths, and the divisor is 3. And I'm going to start at the left in the largest place once again, and I'm going to say, okay, I've got 6 ones. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 6 ones? And of course it's 2, just like it was in the place value chart. Then I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 to see if I have any left over. And of course I don't, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 is exactly what I have. So when I subtract, I'll have 0 left over, and I'm going to move over to the next place, and I'm going to bring down that 7 so I can work with it. So I have 2 groups of 3 in 7/10. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. And just like I did over in my place value chart, when I subtract, I see that I have 1 left over. Now, it's important in my answer that since this is 7/10 divided by 3, this is 2/10. I made 2 groups in my tenths column over here. So this is 2/10. I need to make sure that I've got my decimal there. I've multiplied 2/10 times 3. I got 6/10. I subtracted. I've got 1/10 left over. And I'm going to take that 1/10 and turn it into 10 hundredths. And really, all I need to do that is to bring down that 2 and add it on. So now I have 12 hundredths. 10 hundredths plus 2 hundredths is going to be 12 hundredths, just like it was over here. And of course, if I take my 12 hundredths and I divide it into groups of 3, then I will have 4 groups. And when I multiply 4 hundredths times 3, I get 12. And unfortunately, there's no room for me to write 0 at the bottom here, but 12 hundredths minus 12 hundredths is, of course, 0. So I'm finished. And I can check and see that my answer using the standard algorithm was the same as my answer using the place value chart. And it's your turn now. You're going to divide 5 and 16 hundredths by 4. You can use the place value chart. I would recommend that you do it this first time and check, use the standard algorithm and then check and see if your answers match. Checking especially to make sure that your decimal is in the right place. Now we're going to divide 6 and 72 hundredths by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put my discs in the place value chart. And I'm going to put them in groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the ones place. I have 7 in the tenths place, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to have 2 in the hundredths place, so that will be 2. And as I work through this problem, I'm going to kind of do the place value chart and the standard algorithm simultaneously. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the ones place because it's the largest place, and I'm going to see how many groups of 4 I can get out of 6. And I have one group of 4, same over here, one group of 4, and then I have to kind of take that group of 4 away and see how many I have left over. And of course I have 2 left over in the ones place, which I will move next door. And I'm going to turn those 2 ones into 20 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, since I already had 7 there, that means that I've now got 27 in the tenths place. So on the standard algorithm, what that means is I'm taking this leftover 2 in the ones place and I'm turning that into 27 tenths. 2 and 7 tenths is the same as 27 tenths. Now I'm going to circle my groups of 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole groups. And 6 times 4 is, of course, 24 tenths. And I want to go back and put my decimal here because this is 6 tenths. I'm working in the tenths place now. So I want to make sure I'm clear that this is 6 tenths times 4, which will be 24 tenths. And of course, when I subtract 24 tenths from 27 tenths, I have 3 tenths left over, just like I do right here. 3 tenths left over. And then I'll move these 3 tenths over here. Boy, oh boy, now I've got to make 30 discs in my place value chart. You can see why the place value chart gets a little cumbersome after a while. And we want to just stick to the standard algorithm because those larger numbers really require a lot of discs. So I'm going to add my 30 over here. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, got all 30 of them down there. So now I have a total of 32 discs in the hundredths place. And I'm going to reflect that over here by bringing that 2 in the hundredths place down and popping it on the end of my 3 tenths. So now I have 32 hundredths instead of just 3 tenths left over. I've got 32 hundredths. I'm going to see how many groups of 4 I can get out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't have any left over. So I know that 8 hundredths times 4 is exactly 32 hundredths. And when I subtract, I have 0 left over. So my answer, either way, I had one whole group. Over here in the place value chart, I had one whole group and the 2 had to be carried over, and then I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 4, and I had the 3 that had to be carried over, and then I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups of 4 in the hundredths place. And I also had 1 and 68 hundredths as my answer when I use the standard algorithm. They match, I know I'm right. Now it's your turn. 20 and 8 hundredths divided by 8. You can use the place value chart and the standard algorithm, or if you feel comfortable just using the standard algorithm and getting the decimal in the right place, you can do that as well. Although this one is a little tricky with these zeros in the middle, so you might want to check yourself with the place value chart. And here is one last problem. 6 and 372 thousandths divided by 6. It's not especially difficult. As a matter of fact, I think it might be a little easier than that last problem. It's just that there's a lot of digits here, so the standard algorithm is going to be fairly long. Once again, if you feel totally confident just using the standard algorithm, that's fine. If you're not so confident, use the place value chart to help you check your answer. Good luck, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.